Welcome in Canet-en-Roussillon at the Catana shipyard, and I'm happy to introduce you today the Catana 53, which is one of the latest model of the whole Catana range, this famous and legendary brand for cat cruising around the world. If you want to come with me, join me on board. So one of the first things, as I said, is the open space on the Catana 53, okay? And the biggest advantage is like you can open all this bulkhead, making the cockpit and the interior salon in just one area. So just basic thing, just a small trick is like this big table outside can be switch to the inside, and you can take the coffee table which is inside and you can put it outside. You can just swap the tables, or for example if you want to store them into this big locker inside here. Welcome inside. So of course the interior of a Catana is a kind of customizable. When I say customizable, it's like you can customize you can choose the color of the wood, the color of your countertops, the color of your cushions, the color of the floor. You can almost customize everything. There are different layouts, but this is probably the most convenient one and the most basic one. Okay, and but I'll come back to the equipment of the galley just later. On port side, okay, you have on this boat two guest cabin, and I invite you to follow me. This one is a queen size bed, okay, with lots of storage. Storage, of course, under the bed, with drawers, of course, okay. Two drawers like this, okay, red drawers. And of course, if you lift up the bed, which are on gas struts, so you've got more storage. You have a view also from this cabin. You have a view on the front locker, okay. This opening could be also bigger if you want to go from here to the front locker, some more storage. Okay. Of course, this boat has air conditioning, but even if you don't choose the air conditioning, there are a lot of openings everywhere in the boat, okay, to have the natural ventilation to go through. On this side, we got a nice shower, okay, and you can sit and shower, which is also important. Ventilation from the outside, that's important to get rid of the condensation. Here is just a sink, a door, and not watertight but soundproof, which is important. Here, of course, just right in front of the stairs, you have the dagger boards housing. Okay, but I'll come back on the dagger boards, which is one, of course, of the specification of the Catana 53 and of the Catana range in general. Dagger boards has a huge effect, a huge impact on the way to sail, okay, and especially for long distance cruising and for speed. Now the guest cabin, lots of ventilation as well. It's two beds that can be joined and make a king size bed, okay, for a couple. Air conditioning, of course. Of course, you have emergency exits always in the stairs, okay? So that's very simple. There is just one step that you can take out, okay? And then you have a full access to the emergency exit, okay? Important. Let's go to the owner's cabin. So you have the entire hull dedicated to the comfort of the owner, with here a sliding door Okay. More storage. Okay, and another line of drawers just down below. So this is a real liveaboard boat. If we go up front, this is the again the owner's quarters. Okay, so we have here a toilet right behind the door. Okay. We have here washer and dryer. That's important. Okay. Another sink, big. Okay. Some hidden storages. Look at that. Okay. In this shower, you have a watertight bulkhead. Okay, and we made here a watertight door. So up front there is a huge volume that you can use, for example, here. A crew quarter. It's the crew quarter, of course, with an access from outside. Okay, so a private access to the crew quarter, but there is also an access from inside in case conditions are really bad. Crew quarter have their own shower and toilets. Okay, when this watertight door is closed, but that was the owner's choice. But instead of this crew quarter, we can imagine having a workshop, a huge locker for head cells. Okay, I mean this can be used in the way the future owner wants it. I remind you that at Catana everything is done locally, everything is done in-house. So Catana is able to adapt their woodwork to the customer wishes. But this watertight door is also, I mean, again, very important. Emergency exit. Okay. So here in the galley, so the choices are the owner's choices in terms of color, wood, and things like this. We have in terms of fridges, because having a boat like this for blue water cruising program is to have a huge autonomy. So, like big fridges, all freezers, okay, like this, okay. Here we got a gas oven. On the other side we have ice maker. Here gas stove, sink, something very clever, okay, which is the trash, okay, with an opening from this side. So to take it out and not spoil the whole entire of the boat, you just take it out and take it out of the boat. Okay. Openings here just above the stove. Okay, for fumes or odors. And we have hidden in that island. Okay, the TV. So it's not in your way the whole time. Okay, but you have it just when you want. So. Another great asset of the Catana 53 is this full window opens, so you have a great natural ventilation, okay, throughout the boat. Okay, both sides. This one opens, and this one opens too. Okay, you have also curtains, of course, to give you shade from the sun. Okay, and right behind these plates, and this is another Catana asset, is you have natural ventilation even if this is closed. It takes the air from outside, okay, and with a swan neck gives air inside the boat. So that's also a nice feature. Coming to the chart table, important thing. So it's on a rotating chair, which makes things, I mean, very comfortable. You can watch TV, you can look outside, look up front. You have a nice chart table to work with. We have here all the electronics, and this boat has a lot of electronics, like the radio, like the chart plotter, like 360 camera, okay? And here we can put a laptop, okay? That's the room dedicated, the space dedicated just for a laptop. Small storage right here, and we can store charts in other places. Right here, and this is important because you'll find this on all Catana 53s, everything is touch screen. So if I want to shut down the electricity for the winches, it's just I press down, okay? Same for freezers, same for fridges, okay? I have a view here also on all my lightnings, okay? All the pumps, for example, okay? And also all the levels. So when I say levels, it's like these are real gauges for my fuel, for my black water tanks, and for the fresh water tanks. Okay. Cockpit is very sheltered, and this cockpit of the Catana 53 is dedicated to living only. So that's nice. You see also that on that boat, and that's very important. You see that it's a seaworthy boat. It's like we've got like grab handles, okay? So in case of rough seas and rough conditions, I mean, you can still grab yourself and hold yourself and not be thrown away through the cockpit. If I stay here with that, talking about technique, what is important is, I mean, not outside of the cockpit, you can walk around and, for example, have access to the dinghy, okay? So there's no dinghy here right now at the moment, but I can have a full access to the dinghy, okay? You can walk around. That's important because sometimes it's just, I mean, you cannot access because of the aft bench. Here, you have a real great access, and you see how huge is this gap between the two hulls, so you can really carry a serious and professional dinghy. So we've got up front big lockers, gas locker. We got fuel locker, the chain locker, okay, huge storage. That's the windlass. And another fuel storage, huge fuel capacity. Okay, that's important. And that's up front. So that's very well located. The weights on board are very well located. Okay. And you see that with men's height, I mean, everything is really accessible. Even the zip. If you want to close your lazy bag, it's all very accessible. Easy to work with. This rigging is a carbon rigging, carbon mast, okay, just to increase the performance and to reduce the weight. We got up to 4 head sails. Bowsprit is also carbon, and the main beam is also carbon. So everything is all about carbon on this boat, which increases the performances and makes the boat very fast. Some nice tricks on this boat also is these 2 windlasses or these 2 winches up front that gives the possibility to take the tension on the line, especially when you're stern to in the med. Regarding the dagger boards, this makes the boat this takes the boat into performance gats. But let me have a word about the dagger boards. First, the dagger boards, they drop down by gravity, okay, and I will show you. But the dagger boards also give, of course, help the boat to point high the wind compared to other cats, okay, but also gives the possibility to increase the speed of the boat. That means that you have, when the dagger boards are up, you have much less wet surface, okay. Then you increase your speed, and of course you increase your apparent wind. So that's an important feature. So the faster you go or the higher you go, I mean, then you can lift up your dagger boards to make the boat more controllable. Another asset of these dagger boards, of course, it's in a harbor, in a marina, when you want to maneuver the boat, taking the dagger boards down makes the boat spinning on itself. Okay, and that's also another, like a monohull, I would say. Okay, that makes the boat very maneuverable without drifting. Let me show you how this dagger board is working. So I'm right here, and I have here the technical station. Okay, I've got everything around me. I've got the helm. Okay, I've got the chart plotter. I've got the autopilot. I've got the engines. I've got all my winches for the sheets and for the halyards. And halyards and reefs. But from here, if I want to take down my dagger boards, it's just by gravity. Okay, I let it go. Very easy. Okay. So I have different levels, and if I want to take it up, it's just around here. The electric winch okay? And by just pressing the button, I'll just take it up. Here we go. Okay, and I'll lock it. Dagger boards are also the fuse of the boat. What I mean is, like, if you hit something in the water, you will break the dagger board, but never the boat. Okay, there are brackets inside the dagger board housing. So there are brackets. Boat is built with brackets. Okay, made out of carbon. So you will break the dagger board, but never the boat. Easy to replace. You take the dagger board out, put a new one in place. Let's go. Okay. The sheeting, the main sheet system of the Catana is also very interesting, because you see we have a double sheeting system. So either from starboard or port side, okay, from whatever the side of the boat, I mean, you can control the main, okay, and that works also like a boom vane, okay, because on one side you can really flat down your sail or just open it up. And with this textile soft jackal, okay, we can take it out also and take the boom out there on the side of the boat. Come back to the helm station. Helm station is here. We find the autopilot. Okay, we find the cameras here, the windlass, the chart plotter, the engine, the seat, and with that seat, also a step to maneuver and to have a great visibility above the boat. Okay, so that's a nice helm station. But most of the time, with this boat, I mean, you can really play with the boat, because this is a very sensitive boat, especially in light conditions. Okay, and in strong conditions, if you want to let the autopilot do the job, I mean, it's just, you can drive it from here or from the inside of the boat or from the cockpit, wherever you are. You always have the control of the boat. So engine rooms are big. Okay. With here we got the genset, so I can go down in the engine room and service. You see the room you have around the engine, which is quite impressive as well. I mean, if you want to change the filters and drain the oil and things like this. And what is important also on these catamarans is, like, the rudder is behind the engine, behind the prop. That makes also the boat very maneuverable in any situation. The technique of the boat, I mean, the structure of the boat is laminated, is glassed onto deck and hull. That makes the whole structure of the boat, and all these structural parts inside the boat are made out of carbon. That's the way that we can save weight, okay? Also with the foam core, but we can save weight with carbon, and that makes the boat a lot stronger. What I wanted to say also is, like, below the waterlines, we have added this fabric called Twaran, okay, which the bulletproof vests are made out of. That's important, so in case of impacts, the boat will resist. There is no compromise on the comfort and the aesthetic with the Catana 53, especially because we customize everything in-house. So this is a full project that we can build together, okay, according to the owner's tastes. So thank you for joining us. I hope you have enjoyed this tour of the Catana 53, and I hope to welcome you one day on board again, and for you to experience the Catana 53 and the whole Catana range. Thank you very much.